So here's a thought, and I've been thinking about this for a minute now. Um, I'm getting ready to come out of my mourning period and go into my plan of action period. It took me about a week to get here, to get to where I am here. Um, but it's been challenging for me, just like I'm sure it's been challenging for many of you. But some of us, regardless of the reasons, regardless of how Trump managed to reclaim the White House, here's a thought that I have around that I haven't heard from anybody yet. And I don't know how true this is, but this is just a little bit of a perspective because I've been praying about this a lot. And I mean a lot. Maybe one of the reasons why he's coming into power and will try to change the dynamic of society as we know it to something that we may not recognize is because I'm noticing that there are people that are out there right now that are forming coalitions, that are protesting, that are um, becoming our better angels. Because there are so many of us that just don't subscribe to the hatred, to the lies, to a president that we know is not going to govern for everybody. We just don't know who he's going to govern for. And who he governs for may surprise you. But I digress. Um, I think that maybe God, number one, if you believe in God or if you call that your higher power, so be it. I call it God. So kind of bear with me while I get through this. Maybe God is pulling his people together. He is pulling the righteous. He is pulling the loved ones. He is pulling people that at their core, they are trying to live their best, true, authentic self. Let me say that again. Pulling together people that are trying to live their true, authentic selves. And that truth is that we operate from a place of love. We operate from a place of joy. We operate from a place of where we deem our Abba Father or your higher power to be something that is so positive and so good that that prevails and holds hands over our life. And in that, we will see the power of God manifest itself in such a way that we will know that it is God. I have no idea if this is true because I'm presuming to know the word of God or God's character. Truth be told is I'm not sure about this, but I'd like to think that this is what God is calling us to do. He's calling us to be our best, true, authentic selves. And that true, authentic self is love. It is love to the 10th power. It is more than loving your children, your mom, your sisters, your brothers, your wife, your husband. It's more than that. It's loving your neighbor as yourself. We are our brothers and sisters keeper. And I think now it's the time for us to show that and to present that to the world in an environment where it's going to be uncomfortable. Some people may lose their lives. Some people will be stripped away. Some people will be deported. And maybe some of it will come to fruition. Maybe none of it. And I say that because at the end of the day, we know that Trump will do anything to obtain power. Now that he's done that, he doesn't owe anybody anything. So he doesn't have to keep a promise to his followers. All he has to align himself with is the very, very wealthy. And that's it. Anything outside of that for him is gravy. So in all of this, I think that we may find that love will prevail. I'm not going to minimize anything. I'm not going to say that the battle is still ongoing. We know that it is. But we also know that we are called to love one another. We are called to protect one another. We are called to uplift one another. That is what we should have been doing all along, but we got lost. We let life get in the way. We let our personal issues get in the way. We've let our differences separate us. And then we've become so entrenched in our own personal grievances, family life, job life. We have let all of those things get in the way of the true reason why we are here, which is to love one another. And then, of course, magnify God or your higher power. Because I don't want to alienate anybody. So, be your authentic self. Love your neighbor as yourself. Here's the hard part. Love even those that don't love you. Because that's what Jesus did. And that's what we are commanded to do. I'm sure there is more. I'm sure there will people add on to this. I'm sure some people will take it away from it. And I'm sure there may be some people that may even shoot the messenger. Okay, that's cool. But here's the thing. Just because you don't like the messenger doesn't negate the fact that I am still speaking truth, even if it's my truth. I was compelled to put this up for anybody that needs to hear it. Once again, I believe that we're going to be okay. But guess what? I was up to 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning. My mind was going a mile a minute and I couldn't shut it off because I was thinking about every single negative thing that could happen in this upcoming administration. And I can't focus on that. As we speak, there are people marching in the streets in New York. That is significant because that shows that we just don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to a time when women couldn't vote and had to rely on their husbands for every single thing. I don't want to go back to a time where all people of color were relegated to ghettos for all intents and purposes. And that we were given the minimal amount of education, or even worse, miseducation. I don't want to go back to that. I want my nephews and nieces to know not just that their family loves them, but that somehow in this world, good will prevail. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Good is going to prevail. I don't know how. I don't know what that looks like. But it was placed in my heart today that we're going to be okay. Does it mean we're going to go through tribulations? We are. But we're still going to be okay. My name is Jerome Whitehead. And for the first time in my life, I am standing up for what is right. So y'all, once again, know I love you. Peace and God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day.